Well, she asked, how long has this town been here? He wondered. It was built in 1868. She snapped back then. Is this a game? Not a game, cried the captain. Oh, God. He said, look here. We are from where? She said. From Earth. He said. Where is that? She said. From Earth. He cried. Out of the ground, do you mean? No, from the planet Earth. He almost shouted. Here he instated. Come out on the porch, and I will show you. I will not come out there. You are all evidently quiet. No, she said. Met from the sun. Lasting and Hingston stood behind the captain. Hingston now spoke up. Mrs., he said, we came in a flying ship across the space among the stars. We came from the third planet, from the sun, Earth, to this planet, which is Mars. Now do you understand, Mrs.? Met from the sun, she said, taking hold the door. Go away now before I call my husband, who is upstairs taking a nap, and he will beat you all with his feet. But, Hingston, this is Mars, is it not? This explained the woman as if she were addressing a child. His green leg. Wisconsin on the continent of America, surrounded by the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, on a place called the world, or sometimes the earth. Go away now, goodbye, she sang the door. The three men stood before the door with their hands up in the air towards it, as if pleading with her to open it once more. They looked at one another. Let's knock the door down, said Lasting. We can't, sighed the captain. Why not? She did not do anything bad, did she? We are the stranger here. This is a private property. Good God, Hingston. We went and sat down on the porch step. What, sir? Did it ever strike you that maybe we got ourselves somehow, someway, fouled up and by the accident came back and landed on earth? Oh, sir, oh, sir, oh, sir. And the Hingston sat down numbly and thought about it. Lasting stood up in the sunlight. How could we have done that? I don't know. Just let me think, Hingston said. But we checked every mile of the way, and we saw Mars, and our chronometer said too many miles gone, and we went past of the moon and out into space, and here we are on Mars. I am sure we are on Mars, sir, Lasting said, but suppose, just suppose that by accident in space, in time, or something, we landed on a planet in space. In another time, suppose this Earth 30 or 50 years ago, maybe we go lost dimensions, do you think? Oh, go away, Lasting, at the man in the skiff keeping an eye on us, Hingston. At the gun, sir. Lasting went to the door, rang the bell. When the door opened again, he asked, "What year this?" 1926. "Of course," cried the woman fiercely and slammed the door again. "Did you hear that? Did you hear that?" Lasting ran back to them. "Wheatley," she said, 1926. "We have gone back in the time. This is Earth." Lasting sat down and the sea main laid the wonder and terror of the thought afflict them. Their hands stayed fully on their knees. The wind blew, nodding the locks of hair of their heads. The captain stood up, brushing off his pants. "I never thought it would be like this. It scares to hell out of me. How can a thing like this happen? Will anybody in the whole town believe us?" wondered Hingston. "Are you playing around with something dangerous? Time, I mean, should not we just take off and go home?" "No, we'll try another house." They walked 3 houses down to a titled white cottage under an oak tree. "I like to be as logical as I can get," said the captain. He nodded at the time. "How does this sound to you, Hingston? Suppose, as you said originally, that rocket travel occurred years ago, and when the Earth people had lived here a number of years, they began to get homesick for our first day. Mind neurosis about it. Then a full fledged physiosis. Then threatened insanity. What do you, as a physicist, is faced with such a problem?" Hingston thought. "Well, think. I had rearranged the civilizations on Mars so it resembled Earth more and more each day. If there was any way of reproducing every plant, every road, and every lake, and even an ocean, I would do so. Then I would, by some vast crowd hypnosis, theoretically anyway, convince everyone in a town this size that this really was Earth, not Mars, at all, at all. Good enough, Hingston. I think we are on the right track now. That woman in that house back there just thinks she's living on her Earth. Prospects, it protects her sanity. She and all others in this town are the recipients of greatest experiment in the migrations and hypnosis. You will ever lay your eyes on your life. That itself, cried Lasting. "Well," the captain sighed, "now we are getting somewhere. I feel better. It all sounds a bit more logical now. This talk about time and going back and forth and traveling in time turns my stomach upside down. But this way," he actually smiled for the first time in a month. "Well, it looks as if we'll be fairly welcome here, or will we say," said Lasting. "After all, Like the pilgrims, these people came here to escape Earth. Maybe they won't be too happy to see us, sir. Maybe they will try to drive us out or or kill us. We have superior weapons. If that should happen anyway, all we can do is try. This next house now. Up we go, but they had hurried across the lawn when Lasting stopped and looked up across the town. Down the quiet, dreaming afternoon street side, he said, "How is it, Lasting?" asked the captain. "Oh, sir, what I see, what I do see now before me, oh," said Lasting, and he began to cry. His fingers came up, twisting and timbering, and his face was all wonder and joy, and incredibly, he sounded as if any moment he might go quite insane with happiness. He looked down the secret street and began to run, come out, stumbling awkwardly, falling, picking himself up, and running on. Oh God, God, thank you, God, thank you. Don't let me get away. The captain broke into a run. Now Lasting was running at full speed, shouting. He turned into yard halfway down the little shady side street and leaped up upon the boards of a large greenhouse. With an iron rooster on the roof, he was beating upon the door, shouting, hollering, and crying when Hingston and the captain ran up and stood in the yard. The door opened, Lasting yanked the screen wide, and in a high well of discovery and happiness cried out, "Grandma! Grandpa!" Two old people stood in the doorway, their faces light up. "Albert!" Their voices piped, and they rushed out to embrace and pat him on the back and move around him. "Albert, oh Albert, it's been so many years. How you have grown, boy. How big you are, boy. Oh Albert, boy, how are you? Grandma, grandpa, sobbed Albert Lasting. Good to see you. You look fine, fine. Oh, he held them, turned them, kissed them, hugged them, cried on them, held them out again, blinked at the little old people. The sun was in the sky, the wind blew, the grass was green, the screen door stood open. "Come in, lad, come in. There is lemonade for you, fresh, lots of it." "Grandma, grandpa, good to see you. I have got friends down here. Lasting turned and waved weirdly at the captain and Hingston, who all during adventure on the porch had stood in the shade of trees, holding onto each other's. Captain, come up. I want to you meet my grandfolks." "Howdy," said the fox, "any friend of Albert's is ours too. Don't stand there with your mouth open, come on." In the living room of the old house it was cool, and grandfather's clock ticked high and long and bronzed in a In one corner there were soft pillows on large couches and walls filled with books, and a rug cut in thick rose pattern and antimacaque asserts pinned to furniture and lemonade in the hand, sweating and cool on the thirsty tongue.